Ubisoft, E3 2016. They're going to be there showing off video games. They're not going to show Assassin's Creed. Well, they're not launching one this year. Maybe they'll show one. Who knows? They might show For Honor. They might show Ghost Recon's Wildlands. But they're probably going to show Watch Dogs 2.
They're definitely going to show Watch Dogs 2, whether we like it or not. That is happening. You're going to get that Watch Dogs 2.
If you're watching this live, then this is before any sort of Watch Dogs 2 announcement stuff. We are thinking they're going to announce something soon. The leak at the moment is that IGN had a full page takeover of their website. I feel like
I feel bad for them. It's unfortunate that happens. Right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny.
I do.
I know. We all do it. So when it happens to them, we have to laugh.
Ubisoft has been really unlucky because they kept Watch Dogs 2 under wraps.
Yeah.
And then some actor,
voice
actor,
he was like,
thanks very much.
Like he's got his glasses on. Thanks, Ubisoft, for my sick shades.
That was the YouTuber. The actor before him was the guy who was like, he's a model, and he's like, I'm in Watch Dogs 2. Also, check out my abs on Instagram. And it was like, wow.
He's got some numbers on that.
So it's like, I guess you're in Watch Dogs 2. Also, Watch Dogs 2. Here's a picture.
So the good thing for Ubisoft, the game hasn't been revealed yet. They can still do the wonderful reveal of the game at E3.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. All we seem to be able to take from it is that there is an African-American protagonist and that it is set in San Francisco.
Is there an African-American protagonist?
That's what
I did not know that.
So there was a screen. There was it was an Instagram shot from some sort of mocap artist about 2 weeks ago, I think, or maybe it was shorter.
A little longer than that.
A little longer than that. Of an African-American character wearing basically the sort of bandana. And then some glasses and then a hat, which was like very, very Watch Dogsy. Yeah. And then basically that same character his pic was on. There it is there. Then that same picture has appeared sort of in better lighting on the front page takeover for IGN. So that's very interesting. Not just because obviously diversity in games is very good, but in terms of I'm somebody who lives in Oakland and used to live in San Francisco, and gentrification and the sort of pushing out of minorities within San Francisco to Oakland has been is part of the daily life, the culture of this area. So if they're doing that, then that's well done, because that the two stories that are happening around the Bay Area is that the gentrification and all, rich people basically pushing people out, that and the tech boom, which is perfect. Watch Dogs, fits in perfectly, right?
I think that's probably why they've chosen San Francisco, right? I mean, it's a software center of America, basically.
Yeah,
now,
the world, you could say. Maybe.
Yeah. So I think it's probably a good idea for a setting. Considering that GameSpot and all the big games companies are located in San Francisco, there's probably going to be a lot of reviews about the accuracy of the location. But I think Ubisoft have a really good chance with Watch Dogs 2 to establish the franchise.
Yeah, this is kind of.
What did you think of the first Watch Dogs?
I thought it was very forgettable, and even it didn't deliver on any of it. It's the classic Ubisoft maneuver, right? Assassin's Creed 1 comes out, and we were like, "Holy smokes, this looks incredible!" And it was shallow. It had a lot of good ideas, but just did not deliver on any of them.
Yeah. Hey man, I like Assassin's Creed 1.
I like it as well.
Altai is your favorite boy as well.
Altai is my boy, yeah. He's like the most Arab dude in video games ever. And I was like, he's fully Arab. Look at this guy. And everyone else is like, so? I was like, yeah, fine, whatever. But their second games generally turn out to be much better. The second games are the ones that kind of establish the template going forward.
Well, let's not forget that Watch Dogs 1 tried to do so much. I mean, this is a brand new IP, an open world game released for 6 platforms at the same time. I mean, that's a tall order, isn't it? That's a big ask.
And this was right at the sort of the highest point of Ubisoft's massive machine, software development cycle, of them pulling in thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And you see that culturally there seems to be a little bit of they've taken stock of what happened with Assassin's Creed. Watch Dogs was probably one of the least impactful new IPs they've had in a long time, especially in the third-person action adventure setting. I was not a fan of the first game at all. I was very disappointed by it. Yeah, but there's something about this. Enough time has passed. I think nobody knows more about how good or bad a game is than the people who made it. They know. They didn't need the media to say anything. They didn't need consumers to say anything. Do you think that's
true though? Because isn't it when you're working on a game for so long, you can't see it anymore, right? If you're so knee deep in the game, and I think that's the case.
I feel like when it comes to the end though, they must be able to sit back and go, Right.
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what
You,
you
you
say.
hear
Maybe,
a
I
lot of
don't know.
stories about developers saying like the bug that you're complaining about, or the design element that you're complaining
They will
about.
try and justify
We
it.
know, we
Oh,
get
right.
it. Yeah.
I find developers try and justify it a lot of the time as well, though, right?
No, I feel like they, like Danny's saying, I feel like they do justify it, but I feel like deep down they know maybe we over.
That's because you
promise and
hardball interview them,
underdeliver.
Crossley. That's right. Let's get on to some more of the games. Go out a bunch of stuff to talk about. For Honor, I'm really surprised how much hype there is around this game. Whenever we do our weekly breakdowns of all the games people are searching for on GameSpot, For Honor has been consistently there all year long. Has been in the top five sometimes.
We've seen so little of it, and
hardly any.
And every time I think about it, I think about like Infinity Blade, and
Right.
it feels like a mobile game that's been expanded into like a AAA title.
Like,
It's got
is
all
it coming off of the sort of Dark Souls
it looks
It's
like
more
a-
Dynasty Warriors than Dark
Not even
Souls.
Dynasty
Right,
Warriors.
yeah.
It feels like it's literally Infinity Blade. Like you're getting these one-on-one encounters from point to point. You know, Dynasty Warriors feels like a mass kind of like large-scale battle type
Yeah.
thing. Whereas this is like you're a Viking and now you got to fight a samurai. Use your
Yeah.
touch-based stuff to figure out how to deflect attacks, and it's so weird. But like I'm really interested in seeing more of it, mainly because that bearded dude was like mega hype last time. And I'm like, I wanna know what he knows. Like I want to drink what he drinks.
Yeah.
So I played For Honor last year, and I wasn't really expecting too much going into it. But I had a lot of fun playing it. So it's basically this big, massive battle, sword fights and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you're playing against loads of AIs, much like Dynasty Warriors, just slicing people down. But like you can also play other people online as well at the same time.
So you
it's
get
this-
involved in like singular battles within the battle. Right?
Precisely, yeah. So like, in Dark Knight Rises, for
Yes.
example, there's that big massive fight
Yeah.
outside of
And
that
then
big building.
the two of them are having
yeah, and they have a showdown, don't they?
Bane and
They stare at each other in the
Yeah.
middle of that massive fight, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do this."
And nobody just comes up and stabs him in the back.
Yeah.
Or
No,
anything.
that never
Shoots
happens.
him in the head.
But like the game is trying to recreate that moment
Right.
where you see someone who's just as good as you, like in a big battle,
Yeah.
and face off against them. And I was really impressed by it. I thought it was really fun.
Another game we will probably see a lot of, Ghost Recon Wildlands. They've already started trickling out information about it more and more. That was a fun announcement. I'm a big fan of the Ghost Recon, like the old ones. And
Sure.
then I actually really liked Advanced Warfighter as well.
Yeah.
They fumbled the whole 4-player co-op thing a couple of times though, like with the crew, and like there was a while there where every Ubisoft game had multiplayer.
The problem
co-op.
I have with Wildlands is the Ghost Recon name. It existed before Ubisoft switched to this template mode.
Yes, Tom
So,
Clancy
like-
was a Rainbow Six spin-off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it means like, are they going to try and fit that game into an existing template? Like, is it going to be Far Cry plus The Crew,
Right.
or Far Cry plus Assassin's Creed, or are they going to actually create a new, unique, like, Ghost Recon style template for their own game? I feel like if it's the original, if they're using a current template, I'll be less interested in it. Whereas if they're trying to like bring some of what made the original Ghost Recon games interesting and tactical, and
They're
kind of
so
weird and
tactical though.
different.
They're like hidden and dangerous level of like
Exactly.
moment to moment.
But
Like,
there's nothing else that offers that right now.
That's true.
Like
So the moment the studio is flaunting how big the world is, that's
Right.
their PR line at the moment.
it's
I
a
get
worry.
so worried
Right.
when publishers do that. They say, "This is the biggest landmass you're ever going to play along." It's like, is there anything else good about this game?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
if it's just another open world, like I mean, the Crew is the
Yeah.
biggest thing ever, and that
See,
that was like the
thing
big
that-
problem there.
The thing that worries me is the Division just came out,
Right.
And that's a very easy like copy paste.
Yeah.
Let's just remove all these dudes, put some drugs in here, ship it.
Which they presumably would have been working on before the Division has had its sort of rise and fall, I guess.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure it was very profitable as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like if it's just open world Hitman with a dabble of Cocaine Cowboys, then maybe that's pretty cool. But the devil's in the detail with these type of games, so
Yeah.
we'll have to wait. There's also a lot of news about possibly a new AAA online game. This has been floated around for a while now.
Yeah, that's a you're gonna have to speculate on that, but I feel like a lot of people will feel similar to me, where they're like Ubisoft new AAA, and you're like, all right, and then they go online, and you go,
Or
what?
Rabbids.
Yeah. Are you telling me Just Dance Online is coming? Is that what's happening here?
To be fair to Ubisoft, every E3 the past 4 years, 5 years now,
Sure.
they've stolen the show or threatened to steal the show with a big new game, usually a new IP,
Yeah.
that they've presented and paraded really smartly.
Right.
And
I mean, the Division.
yeah.
Or
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. Yeah.
Watch Dogs was the big one. I
Yeah.
thought 2012 Watch Dogs, I think it
I don't
was.
care about any of that. Just bring back Prince of Persia.
Right, really?
Bring
Yeah.
him back. get him on the road. Like that's the series that they might do that. I mean, they love doing that thing where they're like,
they said this is going to be a new IP.
New IP, but it's the Prince of
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Pakistan.
So it's a new Tom Clancy IP.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is a brand new IP. Tom Clancy's Rainbow
Seven. Noun of the verb.
Oh, brilliant! Well done.
Noun of the verb. Yeah. Was it South Park stuff gets trotted out during Ubisoft as well, right?
Yeah.
The fractured butthole.
The fractured
butthole we saw last year.
Yep.
Probably some more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've said that they're going to announce at least one new IP at E3 or earlier. We haven't seen it yet, so presumably then. There's also a little handful of Ubisoft VR virtual reality games that are getting trotted out. Eagle Flight and Werewolves Within as well.
So Eagle Flight is the game where you're just flying.
An eagle.
You're a fucking eagle, mate.
As an eagle.
Yeah, you're flying.
And that's it.
That's it.
£15, please.
Hey man, you don't understand VR.
Right, yeah. No, it's an
£15, also $700 for a VR device.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, how about Werewolves Within, which is basically a virtual reality game
of hanging out with friends.
Oh yeah, of a game that you literally can play
in real life.
But this one's expensive.
Yeah.
Do you understand, Danny?
Apparently it's really good. Alexa played. We're looking at the Eagle Flight here. Alexa, I mean, I love the red little thing. It's like yarnies stuck to a fucking pigeon. But Alexa played the Werewolves Within. Apparently had an absolute blast with it. So I mean, maybe I can see that being cool if you're playing with like random people on the internet. Yeah. That's weird, right? To be like VR and then with random people.
No, I never.
They don't know you're naked.
People on the internet after Uno.
After Uno? No. Uno was great. You got to watch people doing like cocaine in their little Xbox Live cameras.
Really?
Oh man, you should have.
That was horrific though.
Oh, you should have played
Mate.
Uno like 3 years after it came out. It was dark.
Yeah.
The only people playing Uno were like just.
This is chat roulette before chat roulette.
Yeah, totally.
So like 50% chance of seeing
I
someone's
clearly
junk.
missed out on this.
Uno was great.
Brilliant. It's great.
So
Danny, what do you think about VR? I mean, like usually these things, people are quite cynical about it. Then they put the helmet on and they're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" And then
I think it's amazing. It's just how amazing is it to get to the sticker price for it? And I mean, they're going to get cheaper and cheaper. I still think there's a bunch of amazing games that have come out. The best thing that I've ever done on it was the Oculus. We're getting a little bit sidetracked here, but the Oculus Touch thing, which was like very much a communication experience, like a new version of Skype. It felt like a paradigm shift. It felt like something that I never would have thought of. So when I see companies like Ubisoft who are making like these like small little experiences, I mean, enough of these, right? If they talk about Werewolf Within, Eagle Flight, maybe one or two more little ones, like. The more and more games there are, it's like when you buy a console after a year. Even though you're not going to buy all the games that have been released, the fact that there is this library is like this comfort blanket that makes you feel better about spending $400.
Yeah.
So if there's enough of these virtual reality games, and if people are, and we know Sony are going to show off a load, we know there's a massive, they're going to be showing a lot on the stage floor, they're going to show a lot at their conference. If games like this, Werewolves Within and whatnot, they're like interesting little side notes, then enough of those make it worthwhile. They still need their killer app
So
stuff.
you're saying these games from Ubisoft, they will add to the pile, basically?
Yeah, I think so. And, eventually after a while it becomes, a bit more worthwhile. So that's Ubisoft. I mean, Watch Dogs 2, we're definitely going to see. Assassin's Creed, last note on this, there's none coming out this year. Will we see another one?
It's a really smart move to not release another.
They should like not engage with Assassin's Creed this year, right?
Yeah,
let the movie, let Fassbender have his moment.
Sure.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, they're taking a year off, but they're also doing the movie. So, I mean, is that really a year off?
And also because they're kind of breaking the tradition, they might break tradition in the way they reveal the stuff. So it might be that we get a little teaser, a logo or something at the event, but then carry on like revealing it later on down the line.
Is 1 year going to be enough? Are you going to want Assassin's Creed again if they?
That's a good point, because I needed 2 for Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
So
perhaps maybe it will be a little longer. Yeah. I hope so, because that franchise I love, but is in dire need of a reboot of some sort.
You both live in. Last point is you both live in London. What was your feel on Syndicate?
I thought it was okay. I like the characters. Finally, like I haven't liked very many of the previous two, like Edward Kenway and Connor Kenway and whoever the hell was before that. But these two
Irish
guys were
bloke.
okay. Yeah, these two guys were all right. Like Evie and Jacob, I think his name is.
Why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like they were cool. I like that. London looked nice. But I honestly didn't play all the way through it because
I took a different line in that.
I was like,
I couldn't play it. I just I mean, fair play to the developers. They're very talented. They do a great job. But I just can't play another
You had
Assassin's Creed game for a while. I think.
Yeah, I think the kind of like the quick grapple thing kind of took it out for me. Like I like the mechanics of jumping and grabbing and that kind of stuff.
Grow home.
Yep, I know.
Get that in Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed game ever.
Yeah.
Grow home.
Totally. Best
It
Assassin's
is,
Creed game that certainly last year's best Assassin's Creed. Well, if you ask me anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, Grow Home was great. I'd love to see more of that or get that technology into Assassin's Creed. That'll be absolutely brilliant. That's what we think Ubisoft's going to show off. Watch Dogs 2, For Honor, Wildlands, a new IP, a bunch of VR stuff, maybe a little nod to Assassin's Creed, and perhaps a Prince of Persia. Let us know what you would like to see in the comments below and hit that subscribe button for more E3 rumors here on GameSpot.com.